All right, we're gonna try this again. So, one of the things with the SP that I've come to find out or appreciate is that in a DAW, obviously, you can manipulate the audio by moving it, adjusting notes that are off. And so, a lot of people in the past, I could understand why some people would be afraid of the SP because, to be honest with you, it typically isn't known for that. It's more of an instrument that you learn to play and you try to build your drum skills and your timing and all that, which you still do. But because they added a step sequencer, it's gotten to be where you can actually adjust notes, which is kind of cool. So I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, so let's go back out of pattern select. So I have some drums, right? And so here's a pattern that I built. So what I did was I went into pattern select, which is right here. I'm trying not to move too fast, I forget. So move into pattern select. I hit record, press the first pattern, and then went to those drums and played them. And so here's the hi-hats. So what I did first was the hi-hats, and I got this idea from SP vids, at least on how to build it, because I was originally trying to do like the snare, then do the kicks, then do the hi-hats. And so one of his videos, one of his suggestions was do the hi-hats, quantize the hi-hats at 100%. And then after you do that, don't quantize the kick and the snare, which is kind of new to me because I always thought the hi-hats is what you want to feel more loose. And honestly, I changed it and did the way he said, and it worked. It worked better than what I thought. So it's not to say you have to do every song like that. If you can drum it, drum it. If you can't, you can't. But this is just a cool way to get going where something needs to be quantized. So if you're going to do the snare, that's fine. But I personally like the way he did it. So anyway, that's what I did. So here's the hats with an open hat in there. And it still has that, even though it's 100% quantized, it still has that vibe to it that I'm looking for, that swing, right? Which I like. So I did that, and then I thought to myself, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and do the kick and the snare. So here's the kick and the snare with the hi-hats. Okay. So that's not quantized on that part, but it still has that quantized feel. So anyway, so then, well, what happens if you're a note off or a slight note off on a note? Can you fix it? Well, in past times, you couldn't, you would just have to redo it. And it's true to some degree, you still need to redo it. I suggest doing it that way just because it's gonna make you improve, but I ain't gonna tell nobody not to do it this other way I'm looking at it, because you could technically, and I'm gonna copy this pad to another spot just because I don't want to mess up what I have. Okay, so now it's copied. Here's the pattern again, right? So let's say in this pattern though I messed up and I want to fix one item in there. I want to fix either the kick, snare, whatever. You can hit record, hit that same pad that you just copied it to, and before you hit record again to start it, you can hit remain. Now, right now, if you see right here, let me see if we can zoom in. You'll see right here that we're in real time. Real time obviously means just that. You're playing in real time. But what about if you wanted to put it in, or you wanted to use the pattern sequencer? Well, the pattern sequencer now, if you already have something on there, will let you look at those notes where they're hitting. Here, I'll show you. So hit remain. You'll see it goes to TR rec, right? And so hit record, it's going through the pattern sequencer. Hold down sub pad. Let me zoom out, you can't see it as well. Hold down sub pad, and let's say you wanted to fix, hold on. Let's say you want to fix the snare. Oops, I'm on the wrong one. You got to go to the right one where it's at. Hold down, because the sounds are on here, sorry. So hold down this and pick the snare. See the reds that are darker right there? These are a little dull looking and these are a little more lit up. That's where your snares are hitting. This bar, if you can see right here, let me see if I can zoom in. See where it says bar 1? I can switch it 2, 3, 4. So that's going through the pages of the bar. I'm trying to zoom back out a little bit. Okay, so you can go through and you can see here, you can fix whichever one's off. Now these are pretty good on they're where I want them at least. But you see how you could adjust that? You could take one out, put it back in, whatever you want to do. Now, here, let me stop this. I want to stop it, but I want you to. So, typically, your snare would go on your 5 and 13, these two pads. Like if you were sequencing, your standard hits would be on your 2 and 4. That's your 2, 4. This is your 1. This is your 3. Right? You might have the kick on the 1, kick on the 7 or something to that nature, kick on the 11, kick on 15, whatever. I'm not a step sequencer, but I'm just showing you. So if you see the snare over here, that means it's a slightly bit off. It's either nudged a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right. If it's nudged to the left, it's going to be a pad in front. So normally be the 5, it's going to nudge and it'll be the 4. Or if it's the 13, which would normally be a standard on, then it would be the 12. If you nudge it back, it'd be the 14. If you want the snare to hit late. So how do you do that? Well, let me just show you real quick. So you go back in the way we were in to record, hit your sub pad. Make sure you're on the right one. There you go. There's the snare. Okay. I'm going to add in one just to show you. So let's say we wanted it to be on the 13, but we want it to be slightly this way. So what you would do is you hit shift. You see where it says start, adjust the knob. I'm trying to keep my hands out of the way. Adjust the knob just to where it's like maybe 5% this way, right? Negative 5%. Now place the pad here and you'll see it places the pad at the 12. But let's say I really wanted that to be a little late. So then you place the pad at the 13, same spot. I put it 5%. Why did they want me to stop the recording? Oh. So you see, let me go back into that. Hold on a second. Okay, 5%. I'm going to do it at like 9%. And it might be because I have this one here. I would probably need to do this on a new one. But you'll see. Yeah. That's probably what that is. Okay. I'm going to leave it alone. But you get the point. You can do percentages. And it's basically in the SP, that's your nudging. Right? You're nudging the note forward. The other option is if you choose not to do it in the MPC and honestly, if you play it, it'll sound a little off anyway. We don't all play perfect timing. I mean, there probably is somebody that does, but it's not me. And most people don't play perfect timing like that. You might get some notes on exactly on, some you'll have off. But the point is that you can adjust it. So the other option is what I like to do, or what I've been doing lately, is you'll see on my desk right here, there's a Apogee Duet 2. It's a sound interface. It doesn't matter what you have, if you have Focusrite, whatever. And you'll see, let me see, you can't see if I don't show you. There's 2 cables up here. This is going from the out, 2 cables. So I have 2 instrument cables and they're running, if you can look over, I got all this black, you probably can't see it, huh? There it is. See, they're running into here. And then I run this at a low setting. And then let me exit out of there. So that's how you hear why's my wallet in the picture? That's kind of weird. That's how you hear in the snares and all that. So it's running through this card. You can see it lighting up over here when I hit it. And then I'm sending it to the computer. So the option is, let me see if I can turn this camera. It's going to be